Donald Trump is about to pick former Representative Randy Neugebauer, a Republican of Texas, to lead the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So here's why that's a disaster, as Huffington Post lays out here. When he was in Congress, Neugebauer, I still don't know how to pronounce his name, and I don't think I ever will. Neugebauer, whatever. This guy opposed the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau actions like the first ever federal rule cracking down on payday loans. He labeled the agency's efforts to require payday lenders to take basic steps to ensure consumers can back their loans and not get trapped in a cycle of debt as a, quote, paternalistic erosion of consumer product choices. He introduced a bill to overhaul and weaken the agency. So, this is exactly what Trump did with the Department of Energy, for example, where he said, oh, Rick Perry is going to lead that agency. Well, come to find out, Rick Perry infamously doesn't believe in that agency. In fact, I think that was the agency when he had that notorious moment at the debate where he couldn't think of the three departments he wanted to eliminate. And he was like, and the third one is, oops. They're like, you don't know what it is? He's like, I can't. So the guy doesn't believe in the agency. So Trump's like, perfect. That's who I want to lead the agency. So in other words, this is a way of eliminating said agency without actually eliminating it on paper. So you had somebody who's going to stonewall any of the, standard operating procedures, the standard actions that they would take. You have somebody who's just going to block it and say, no, we're not going to do that. Bush did this too. George W. Bush would do former oil executives, pack the EPA with former oil executives. So then you're not going to have an EPA that's going to force oil companies and other companies to abide by regulations because the people who are there are friends with people in the industry and their whole careers, in many respects, were spent dodging those regulations. So they know the regulations in and out because they're used to evading them. So classic Republican move. But now he's doing it with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is, one of the Wall Street reforms that Obama did, and just regulatory bodies that Obama did, where he gets a lot of credit for it. Now, he was dragged to that position by Elizabeth Warren, who's significantly more progressive than he is, but it was one of the things that actually was positive in Dodd-Frank. We go after Dodd-Frank a lot because it's weak Wall Street reform riddled with loopholes, and since it's been implemented in a bunch of agriculture bills since then, they've slipped in provisions that weaken the bill further and further, weaken the law, I should say. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is one of the best parts of it. So for those of you who don't know what it's actually done and what it's been successful with, quote, the CFPB has returned $12 billion to 27 million people caught up in various scams, passed pro-consumer rules on issues like mortgage disclosure, proposed a mandatory arbitration rule that is being finalized, and hit banks for conning customers into paying for expensive add-on products that don't do much. The agency was central in exposing the large-scale checking and credit card fraud at Wells Fargo. So, as I've described on the show before, I actually have personal experience with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I had lost or gotten stolen, or I don't know what the fuck happened to it, a credit card in the city one night, and I was hammered off my ass. So I wake up the next morning and I can't find my card, and so I call up the credit card company. I say, look, I got to cancel the card. I need a new card. I lost it in the city, yada, yada. And they were like, oh, well, while we're at it, why would you want identity theft protection? Because, this is one of those things where you got your card stolen. Who knows what the person could have done with it? Who knows what could be going on? So it's not really all that expensive, whatever it was, $5 or $10 a month. And, you get all these benefits with it. And, it's probably the way to go because you lost your card and you don't want something like this to happen again. You don't want to have to worry about it if that happens. So, I'm hungover. The pitch they're making sounds good. I'm like, sure, why not? I'm always down for some sort of extra insurance protection. Come to find out, however many years later, I get a notice in the mail. Notice in the mail's from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The credit card company I was using, they were running this scam on everybody where they'd offer identity theft protection. They had no actual identity theft protection, no system set up. They would just send you an email every couple months and say, everything's good. But there was no actual system where they were like, here are the steps we take, and here's how we prevent it, and here's what happens in case of X, Y, and Z. They would just tell people, we're going to do identity theft protection, and then they just take your money. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau sent a letter, told me that, and then guess what? I got a check from the company for all those payments I made. See, this is what effective, efficient, intelligent regulation of the marketplace is supposed to do. This is the job of the government 101. This is, there's basically fraud going on here, and this gigantic corporation is fucking people, so we're going to return the money, and we're not going to allow them to do that again. Okay, great. Thank you, Elizabeth Warren. Thank you, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And I'm somebody who knows how much these companies try to fuck you, and I fell for it. Imagine somebody who doesn't follow this stuff on a day in, day out basis. So this is what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau does. Trump wants to put somebody to lead it who doesn't believe in it, who's going to handcuff it, and Trump's putting a guy who couldn't even agree to crack down on Payday, the predatory payday lenders. So this guy's in league with Debbie Wasserman Schultz in his scumminess. So this is why it's important that we elect people who aren't complete and utter sellouts. So this is why it's important that we elect people who are reasonable, because if we don't, we get people who don't believe in the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau leading it, meaning they're not going to do anything for you. They're not going to do any new initiatives to make sure that they're not, you're not being ripped off. They're not going to do the basics. Like I just told you, he doesn't even believe in cracking down on predatory payday lenders. So these guys are friends of the industry, and that's as far as it goes.